Hello out there in Facebook land, the land of faces, and YouTube land, and whatever other land that you're in. And welcome to another episode of Live with Ms. Kier on this Friday night, the first Friday in May. Wake up, it's the first of the month. Well, the second of the month. The second of the month.
The second of the one, yeah.
So I would like to thank everyone who is tuning in because you could be doing anything else, but you took the time to tune in. So thank you. And for those who are going to tune in later on, either tonight or during this weekend or next week, whatever the case may be, please make sure that you put hashtag replay in the comments and comment, like, and heart and share and like and heart and comment and share because sharing is caring and caring is
It's
sharing.
sharing,
So
yes.
we're going to wait just a few seconds before we officially start, and then we're going to get the party started.
All right.
Yes.
Well, don't stop, get it. So let me stop. Let me stop. I'm go back to my partying days. I'm sorry.
Mm, all right. So we're going to start now. Get the party started. Hello again, and welcome to another episode of Live with Ms. Kier. I am your host, Ms. Kier, the poetic lyricist, capital K, capital I, capital R, which stands for keeping it real. Welcome,
Yes.
welcome, welcome. Tonight we
Yes.
have special guest returning. The Bread is Rising Poetry Collective, Carlos Duflar and Angel Martinez. So show your
Ah.
love out there in the land of Facebook, YouTube land, whatever land, show your love for the Bread is Rising Poetry Collective, Carlos Duflor, the top dog, and Angel Martinez. Show your
Ah.
love.
That's what's up. Show your love, Facebook. Show your
Thank you.
love.
Thank you. Thank you.
How
And
y'all guys
also,
doing?
How are we doing?
also, my
Doing
co-host,
pretty good.
show,
I'm
show
here.
your
It's a
love.
little chilly now, but I'm still chilling on.
That's what's
The truest words we can speak now. I can't.
up. That's what's up. That's what's up.
And also show your love for the co-host tonight, my co-host, North Philly's finest. Show your
Yo,
love.
what's up? What's up? What's up?
Hey, so we're just waiting for Tanisha to come back over here,
Oh,
Okay. Can you see
or
me
just get
now?
started.
okay.
Uh,
Can you see it?
okay.
Okay.
Uh,
So,
Not yet. Can you?
Yeah, I can see it. I can see her. I can see you.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, good. All right, so let's get this poetry started then.
Okay. All right. We back
Sounds
on track.
beautiful. Yeah,
We
yeah,
on track.
definitely. I see with something wrong with my phone, so hopefully we can. That doesn't stop us from enjoying our program.
Nah, man.
Yeah, right.
We rolling with Rush.
Okay, good.
Amen.
All right. Every day
okay.
is an
So,
Ancestors Day. Yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
you're back. Okay. This is Every Day is an Ancestors Day.
yes.
Our memories are not for sale when the ancestors already paid the price. They have walked with us all over the earth, every culture worker, every poet, every working voice. When I cannot write a verse without hearing laws of more voices, how long to write the dedications? When a great grandmother can give birth to a poet, the world trembles with words of freedom, spoken in tones of fury. When the time comes for the poet to return home, the world, with all its words together, still cannot tell the story of the loss, as we still tell the stories of their lives. And every day we feel another story. Every day is an Ancestors Day. Can your heart take more to hear the news? They were, no, they are the voices of people's democracy. Hold on a second. We feel pain, yet we are not broken. They touched our hearts and felt our pain. Now we go and carry the flame. On today, yesterday, Ancestors Day for everyone we honor in an act of freedom. And for all the names, now is the time for the remembering.
Hmm. Beautiful, beautiful, man. That is pure fire.
Thank you.
Wrap
Thank
it
you.
up,
You
folks.
too.
So, thank you. So we're gonna switch it off. I'm gonna have Carlos over here uh, do do some words, and we'll just go
Okay.
back and forth as much as we can.
Okay. Keep the
All
flow
right,
going.
Carlos.
All right,
Show your
Carlos. Let's
love
hear it.
to the top dog,
I'm
Carlos.
here, and I'm just relaxing right here. Sitting on this bench and relaxing. Waiting for a new dawn as the raven will fly again. Just another day in April with the darkness of thunder that passed through. A van of thieves and their greedy agenda of 2025 with the destruction of democracy and free speech, the control of the mind and education, the admonishment of education and justice and Social Security, and our health plan. We are witnessing and standing not yet blind about time, like the end of life. Funny to remember long ago that I read this book of 1984, The Rat, who lies to the unlettered, unawakened of the illusion, who will lead the way to the control machine. And if we don't lift our voice with the beauty of love from the Atlantic waters to the Pacific and the Gulf of Mexico, we will raise our sounds to win. Thank you. Peace and love.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Thank you, Carlos. Thank
Thank you,
you.
Carlos.
Angel, before you start, um,
Man,
North Philly,
that's
can you
beautiful.
do the celebrity birthdays for the month of April for us, please?
Yeah, it's hard to follow after that. Like that was just that was so poignant. It just don't it just struck me hard. Like applause for the cause. That was beautiful. That was beautiful, guys. That was really beautiful. Um, celebrity birthdays for the month of May. We know we got to pay the bills on celebrity birthdays. Um, Dwayne, can you smell the rock? Can you smell what the rock is cooking? Johnson's birthdays in May. We have the new Superman, or what used to be Superman, and The Witcher, Henry Cavill, birthdays in May. We also have George Clooney, birthdays in May. And we have, how I feel good. Mr. James Brown, Mr. Entertainment himself, birthdays in May. Philly's own Meek Mill is birthdays in May. And we can't forget, na 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 na, Mr. Stephen Morris, Stevie Wonder, birthdays in May, and Philly's own Patti LaBelle's birthdays in May, and we cannot forget Miss Janet Jackson, if you're nasty, Miss Wardrobe Malfunction, Janet Jackson herself, yes, birthday is in May, and that are the celebrity birthdays in May.
Thank you very much for that, North Philly. And
Yes.
for the non-celebrity birthdays in May, drum roll, please. We have my cousin Stephanie Marie. She has a birthday in May. Taurus
Ah!
season.
Birthday.
Happy birthday.
Also, in the month of May, my cousin Scott Jacob. He has a birthday in May.
Yeah.
All right.
Al- Also, I got a lot of family birthday in May. Also my uncle Ronnie Jacob has a birthday in the month of May.
That's what's
Happy
up.
birthday, Unc.
Happy birthday, Unc.
Also, in the month of May, my aunt Susan, she has a birthday in the month of May as
All
well.
right.
Oh, happy
Um,
birthday.
and I can't think of the other ones on my friends list. But if you have a birthday in the month of May, happy birthday to you. Okay. Yes.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday
Okay,
to you.
too.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday. birthday to you. We're not trying to go for copyright infringement, y'all.
Right,
just, just having fun.
right. So we're gonna go to the comments real quick. Donna Banks is in the building.
In the
Hey,
house.
she says, hello, everyone. And then she gave 1, 2, 3, 4 finger snaps for the bread is rising.
Yes.
My
Yes.
mom, Barbara Marie, is in the building. She said, hi, Angel. And she also said,
Hey,
hi, North Philly's finest.
What's
So
up?
those are the comments so far that we have. Okay, so Angel, before you do another poem, I got a question for you because I'm in
Mm-hmm.
my Topra vibes.
Topra's in the house. Topra
Yes,
has arrived.
yes, I'm in the building. Shout out again to Orlando Chandler and James Ellerby for giving me that name.
Yes.
Okay,
What's up, James?
so Angel, um, can you tell the people when did you first fall in love with poetry?
oh wow! When I first fell in love with poetry, it felt like ages ago. But I'll tell you one thing. It really had to have been at a time. And this is the funny thing about it. You hear certain words that just click together. I mean, I can't even remember the first poet I fell in love. But sometimes you read these children's books, and even then they got some interesting rhymes. And I got to see this in English and Spanish. So I think I think when I really fell in love with poetry is when I realized that words are so powerful. So even if I can't pinpoint, I could definitely say when you could write in verse, that really sparked something to me. And ultimately, I said, I got to write it. I have to write poems.
Mm-hmm.
I have to write poems, especially with some poetry anthologies I managed to acquire, including this one called 40 Plus One, the plus one, of course, being whoever reads a book writing a poem.
Mm-hmm.
And that was really, that really set me on my way. And I haven't been the same since.
Kind of like one nibble and you're hooked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. I dig that.
Carlos, same question to you.
Yes. What's the question?
My question to you, Carlos, is when did you first fall in love with poetry?
I fell in love with poetry when I was about 14 years old, and I was writing at a summer youth camp.
Mm.
It was a neighborhood program, and in high school, I was writing poetry. So you could say that over the years, you could say that it's over 60 years that I've been writing.
Mm.
But also another thing I have to share that my great grandmother was a poet.
Oh man.
So I remember when my mother heard me perform in the radio, and she said, "Here's my son." He took the banner of his great grandmother. So I could say that it's a long time. It's over 60 something years that I could say that I've been reading and performing uh, poetry. But I originally used to sing doo-wop.
Oh man. Get out of there.
I, I used
Wow.
to write some words, and we used to sit. I can't lie. To
Oh man,
have a
that's
bottle of
awesome.
Gypsy Rose, and we used to sing, and we used to perform at the youth program that we used to sing when we had every week. We had art, uh, art program, entertainment program that we had that people sang. They played the
Mm-hmm.
piano, and we had poetry and we had dance. And afterwards, we had the music of the '60s. So it was during that time that you could say that it was just coming out. And then over
Wow.
the years, so I could say that uh, I thank my mother that she always reminded me. She was strict about that. You remember, and she used to recite my. I used to. I read my great grandmother's poetry, so I could say that it was heavy. It was heavy. So, but I was also in school during that time, and I ended up, going to college and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had to do a career. I was a social worker. So during that time, I wrote, but not as frequent like I write now for
Mm-hmm.
years now. But I could say that I was always keeping writing because I was listening to words and listening to music because even music is really poetry.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
It's just that people don't understand that. I remember, beauty's only skin deep by the Temptations. That's
Wow.
the one
Okay.
who was a great poet to me was no other than Curtis Mayfield.
Yeah.
When we look at poetry and Sam Cooke, and you look at that, that's poetry.
Yeah.
That is poetry. And many other writers that over the years I got to meet and be with and all that. But this poem that I wrote, I was thinking of our poetry friend that she's famous and she passed away by the name of Jane Cortez.
Mm.
And she influenced me with that verse that I wrote, lifting our voice.
Mm-hmm.
But poetry has been my life, over the years now. And I wish that for everybody because everyone, I believe, is a poet. I don't care if they hide it or they dance it or they express it in any way. Poetry is life. That's what I consider. And without poetry, there's no life. So
So,
I just wanted to share that with you. Thank you.
beautiful.
Thank you for that, Carlos. We appreciate it. Show your
Yeah.
love, folks, for the Bread is Rising Poetry Collective.
Oh,
Carlos Duflar, the top dog.
yes.
And we're back
Yeah.
to Angel Martinez. Angel, um, tell the folks out there in the land of Facebook and YouTube land who you are in my Mufasa voice from The Lion King. Angel,
Angel, can you hear us? Angel,
Angel.
I see him, but you probably can't hear.
Yeah, I see him too. Looks frozen. Angel.
Angel, he looked okay. We lost him for a second. He faded out for a minute.
Okay. Well, while we wait for Angel to come back in, I'm going to go back to the comments real quick.
Okay.
Teresa Hazel Eyes is in the building. Hey, Teresa. She
Hey,
said,
Teresa.
hey, everyone. So show your love for Teresa Hazel Eyes, my mom, Barbara Marie, and Donna Banks, and whoever else is currently watching.
That's
Yes.
what's up.
This is Live with Ms. KIR on this second day of the month of May, the first Friday in May. And our special guests are the Bread is Rising Poetry Collective, the top dog, Carlos Duflar and Angel Martinez. I guess they had a little technical issue, and
Mm-hmm.
hopefully they will be back on very soon. Because last time
Yeah, they
they
did.
got on.
Yeah, they got us. They snatched him up. They did a drop squat on him.
So I had to bring them back.
Oh
So
hell no!
hopefully they can get back
Yeah, because
very soon.
they snatched him up without any warning. Like like,
Right.
oh, we was like, man, we had to send a search party out for them.
Yeah. So while we wait for them, North Philly, can you dig in the crates?
Oh man, that's what I was thinking. It's like one of those nights where I was like, I'm gonna let my brain relax. But okay, yeah, I mean the show must go on. So let me see.
Show your love, folks. for North Philly finest as we wait for the Bread is Rising Poetry Collective to return. Drum rolls, please.
So I never figured myself to be an expansive poet, meaning I never figured myself to be famous, but more of a latter day poet, more of a Saturday poet, more of a laid back poet, more of a poet that I've ever been and ever will be. And hopefully we'll see the future that's before me, even though it's unseen. I don't want to live out anybody's dreams except my own. But if it's Martin and Malcolm and Medgar, then I'll call it my own because they are a part of me, like Nat Turner is a part of me. You can't disbarge these. You can't even ignore these soliloquies that come from the mind state. And hopefully, I won't deflate to my fate because if I do, then everything I just say won't mean nothing to me, but it means more to you.
Dynamite. Okay.
And they back. They back.
Yes, and Bread is Rising is back. So show
The
your
bread
love,
is
folks, out there for Bread is Rising. And
yeah.
Brittany Jones, aka Shy Moonlight, is in the building. Hey, Brittany,
Ah,
aka Shy
Hey,
Moonlight, how you
okay,
doing,
Shy.
girl? Girl, how you doing? She said, "Peace, poets."
All
And my
right.
mom Barbara Marie said, "Hey, Carlos." All right, so now that Bread is Rising has returned.
Yes.
North Philly, do you have a question for our guest, Angel Martinez?
Yes. Yeah, Angel, we was getting ready to send a search party out for you and Carlo. Because we was like, nah, we can't let them get him again. We can't let them get him again. But
let me tell you, it was had to find a power source, and thankfully there was one a lot closer than we thought it would be. So
oh,
we
that's
appreciate
cool.
everybody's patience. Much gratitude for Tanisha for having us. Much gratitude for North Philly's finest for being at the home tonight,
Yeah.
and we appreciate this. One thing we should mention: this is the third. This is we're in year 30 of the Birds Rising Poetry Collective. So
Oh, that's immense.
we're
That's immaculate.
yeah, so we're glad you're part of our celebration. You're of our celebration tonight. So
Uh,
please, I know you have more questions or something like that. I know you, and you were going to, and I'm sorry I missed the first part of your great speech. Hopefully, I'll hear the rest of it on playback.
yeah, man, I just did a little feeling. I was trying to let my brain relax, but as poets, there's no such thing as relaxing. You know what I'm saying? So, um, the question I had for you though was when you first got you going back to what you were saying about that when you start doing when you start writing poetry, you got immediately hooked to it, and to where you are now, and your poetry is just is totally it's amazing, man. It's prolific in every word you say. So my question would be, in accordance with that, is that how do you feel is the shape of poets today in reflection of your poetry?
How the shape of poets are today.
Yes, in regards to your poetry, not trying to draw comparisons, but you
Oh,
know
of course. Yeah.
how because is it you're incomparable, but how do you feel about some poets that are out there today in regards to where you're coming from?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. That's a great question, and the only thing I could really say about this is that there's great poetry everywhere. But the thing is, you really have to work hard. You have to struggle to find it. You know,
Hmm.
it takes some time, and it's definitely worth the energy and the effort. There's a
Hmm.
global movement of conscious poetry in I don't know how many languages I've heard it so far, but if I heard at least 50 so far, I mean I could believe that number if you told me that.
Mm.
That's I mean there's a lot more than that, but
Right.
that's the one I can think of off the top of my head that I'm familiar with personally, and I think it's off to a good start.
Mm.
I think one thing I always emphasize is that when you're looking for poetry, be prepared it's not going to be in a language you understand. And
Hmm.
that's the beauty of it. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess growing up, when you grow up learning a couple different languages, it just helps keep your ear to the ground. I I mean, people
Right.
like Reverend Pedro Petri uh, really was so instrumental, for example, in writing in Spanglish, for example. I mean, he going between that heritage he upholds, just what some people call decolonizing. That was just really just taking that spirit of different languages, and we have to have a multilingual beat. I think the quality of poetry increases when you start hearing these poetry written in a language, and even if you just can only read the English translation, that's good because
Hmm.
at least that shows that your work, your reading works out there, and it's some really good material. I mean, again, some of these open mics are just really worth checking out. I mean,
Hmm.
I know up in Connecticut, especially with our our friends and family in the National Beat Poetry Foundation, there's some solid work out there. And the funny thing is, there are people who've been doing poetry for decades. We never heard of, we have yet to hear of, and there's some people that we've got to know, and they're still pushing away.
Right.
And I think the beauty of it is that as long as you, as long as you're open to realize, hey, I mean, I'll just give you an example.
Hmm.
Langston Hughes translated poetry from Spanish into English. So imagine
Yeah, he did.
how
Yeah.
much uh, how much is powerful that's out there. I mean, Richard Wright died in France, and his daughter Julia Wright is a very famous journalist for a French newspaper.
Oh
So
wow.
that's yeah. I mean, look up her name, Julia Wright. For anybody who's interested. Her name is Julia Wright, and
Julia
she's
Wright.
been writing for a long time. So
Oh
anybody
wow.
out there who wants to learn more about Richard Wright's daughter, I mean, I highly encourage that. Still writing, years
That is
later.
amazing.
So,
That's totally amazing.
oh yeah,
I,
and, and
I love Native Son. Native Son is my. I love that story.
great, great. There's a lot more, but I'll put Carl's on right here.
Okay.
I'll put
Okay.
Carl's ready. I'm so, Carlos wants you to repeat the question.
Oh, I'm gonna try to repeat it for, in a different way. So, Carlos, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm listening every day.
Okay. I'm impressed by by who you are. You said you did doo wop. I was like, oh my god, that is
You
just
know,
so
like
amazing.
in Philly was Howard Melvin and the Blue Notes in the 50s.
Yeah, yeah, man. Yeah, Harold Melvin, boy. Yeah, I mean, especially when he had Teddy Pendergrass in there, but
Yeah.
that's a, that's another story. But just like I was saying to Angel, how do you feel like the state of the shape of poets today, and not so much the comparison to your poetry, because your poetry is incomparable as it is, but how do you feel the state of of some poets today, and how they relate to um I guess the grassroots, or the social conscious. How do you feel about that?
Well, as you know, I'm 75. I just want to tell you, brother. So
Okay.
when I was coming up, it was, I'm Mary Baraka, a.k.a. known as Leroy Jones, the beat
Leroy
poet.
Jones.
Yeah,
Yes.
Leroy Jones. Sonia Sanchez. There
Yes.
was a writer. Uh, Last year we celebrated his poetry, James Bowen. There was Bob Kaufman. These were beat poets. These were people who were involved with a lot of poets. And then there was many others. There was Ted Jones, another
Hmm.
poet that I knew. Ted Jones and June Jordan.
Yeah.
June
Yeah.
Jordan. I'll tell
Yeah.
you another one that. Oh, Jane Cortez that I knew too. Jane,
Yeah.
I went to her funeral too. June Jordan, Harlem
Yeah.
born, and oh the Lord. And it was a lot of poetry at that time. And then the poetry of this brother that I knew uh, at a poetry meeting in Detroit at the University of Wayne State University,
Hmm.
that he passed away. But he was a Detroit poet, and there were so many poets during that time. But we were living in an era of social conscious at that time. So we had to
Carlos, we
say,
can't see your face.
I can't see your face.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
I'm
I see
sorry, I
you.
put it in my ear. I was going to say that we were living in an era of social conscious when I was growing up and writing poetry. So, you had to say something, with a million and so many poems that, many poets that I knew. A
Hmm.
childhood friend of mine said we went to high school together. He went on to the big time. I mean,
Hmm.
he deals with basically things that he could relate to. Actually, he moved out of the States and he moved to North Africa.
Oh
He
man.
was a poet. He was a poet friend of mine. He dropped out of high school, but he went on to become famous and be published by Random House.
Oh man.
So, I'm saying Victor Hernandez Cruz. I know a poet, so I'm just saying that during that time, growing up, coming up in the 60s, 70s,
Hmm.
that people were still talking, there was still consciousness at that level of what we saw growing up from the 50s to the 60s to the 70s.
Hmm.
And what we saw during these other years of life after, I remember 1968, Richard Nixon, and then et cetera, came after Richard Nixon was this guy from Michigan, Jerome Ford, and then Ronald Reagan, and then George Bush 1 and George Bush 2.
Hmm.
So it's something, and now we got this guy that wants to be an emperor. I'm not going to even mention his name, but I'm just saying
Yeah.
he wants to be an emperor. We'll see. That's all I have to say. But I'll just say this to you. Now, there are some young people, but I do know this that oh yeah, I forgot to mention too
Hmm.
that she passed away recently. Uh, what's her name again? That she passed away. I knew her.
Okay.
The professor.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh boy. I know you're talking about the professor.
You know who I'm talking about, right? That she passed away at 80 something in Virginia.
Oh yeah. Ay, ay, ay. I'm blanking on the name right now, but
She was from Cincinnati.
you talking about Nikki Giovanni?
Nikki
Yeah,
Giovanni. Yeah,
I
Nikki
knew Nikki
Giovanni.
Giovanni.
Hmm.
I remember in the '60s when she was just teaching
Hmm.
at Queens University, Queens College.
Okay.
So I'm saying, and a good friend of mine, another good friend of mine too, that he was a poet, Felipe Luciano, that he read. So I'm saying, and my home friend, close friend, poet friend, uh, Pedro Petri. So it was so many poets. Another friend of mine who was a poet. We were childhood friends
Hmm.
growing up. Um, they used to call him Shorty Wright. He had another doo-wop group. He had his own doo-wop group.
Oh man, that's dope.
And
That's dope.
I'm just saying. So we were living during that time where we saw so many things coming up.
Hmm.
And I think that young people are doing it in their own way. They do it in their own way to observe. It might sound a little different than what I know of, but I have hope in them. I
Hmm.
believe that young people are the ones who are going to see things and going to see things that when I have to become an ancestor one day. So I recognize that we all develop different styles. We all develop different styles of what we read and what we see. I mean, I've been writing for years, and I was blessed by the Creator that 3 years ago they made me uh, Beat Poet Laureate for life of the new poet generation, Beat Poet generation. So
Yeah.
I was
Listen.
blessed with that.
That's
And
huge. That
I'll
is
say this to
large.
you that, but all this comes out of growing up, observing, being with friends, hanging out, dancing, going to dancing. I remember what we used to call grinding, and they called it, I forgot slow dance years later. So I'm saying that all these are different experiences that we grew up during that period of time that I believe that we had a better chance of what I see now. I see now that it's scary in a way when I see a lot of young people who don't, that they don't have chances.
Mm.
You know, I remember that we had community centers, so we had music, dance. You could learn how to play an instrument. You
Right.
could sing. You could dance. You could read poetry. You know, um, so I'm saying that um, I'm always thinking and always meditating that the young people, because they are the future. I was young when we were writing. All those people that I mentioned were young when they were writing.
Mm-hmm.
Years later, they went into different levels, but I'm saying we were all observing life and living life. And that's
Right.
one of the things that I see that the young people, the future, that's what I call it, that will see. I talked to a friend of mine, said she's a minister. We know each other for about 57 years,
Mm-hmm.
because somebody that we loved each other, when I was marching. And, she says, I only believe in the youth. And I said, I agree 100%. She said, the youths are the future. And that's what I say. And to all my young poet friends, whatever level, poetry is life. And it will evolve. It will evolve. And it will come again. Sometimes it goes off again, and we have to write to certain places. We read in different places, but I believe that poetry is going to blossom like a flower. That's what I have to say about poetry. To me, this is life.
Yes.
Without this, there's no life. Some people will
Yes.
say, but I'll say this to you. Poetry is like a love song. That's all I have to say, and I end it now. Poetry is like a love song.
I like
Thank you.
that. Thank you. Thank you, Carl. Thank you.
And
That
by the
Thank
was
you,
way, Carlos is
Carlos.
still young.
that Carlos, that was prolific. That was prolific. That's the best. That's the best. That's the right on right there.
Yeah.
So, Angel, before you guys had your little technical issue and we're
Oh no.
going, I was asking you to tell the folks out there in Facebook land and YouTube land who you are in my Mufasa voice from the Lion King.
Who we are, the Brothers Rising Poetry Collective. Wow, what a long straight trip! Is the Brothers Rising Poetry Collective, first of all, brother organization of the Writers Block Poetry Collective. So definitely got to give a shout out to that. We've been working together ever since that day we found out that there was a thing called the New Brunswick Free Public Library Poetry Anthology. And much respect to Deborah Cheney for bringing all of us together one way or another. Yeah, I mean, that's how we met Barbara Marie. That's how we met Euthanasia and T Noodle, of course, and Cynthia Blue, and 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 so many more. Like, if I start naming, I'm gonna start forgetting people. That's the problem. But those of you listening right now, who we know personally, much acknowledgement to you, because this is a wonderful family we have for over 2 decades of this family. And we've performed in all over the United States, in Canada and England. We've been online on more forums around the world I can count, especially in the last 5 years, and I think a little bit before when started too. But I could say, we travel where we need to go where poetry is, and we enjoy spending time with poets, visual artists, musicians, and singers that really believe in the power of art to really be the basis for liberation. I mean,
And
when,
he,
and healing, absolutely. So that's a little bit of a nutshell. I'll put on to the add one more of the Brothers Rising. And before I go, you can reach us at thebreadisrising.org, and definitely check us out and keep looking for us. I mean, look at my Facebook page, and you can definitely find out more things that are happening, and also with our friends in the National Beat Poetry Foundation and many more friends. I guess Carl will say more about that.
I wanted to, and I also wanted to say this, that we Last year we celebrated our 30th year together performing. We had other poets too, but they went on different roads. We're celebrating now this year. We're celebrating our 31st year. Reading poetry around the country in different places, and we be back on the road again. But I'm just saying that sometimes
That's
you're
impressive.
tired. You get tired. My body gets tired. I'm not young no more like before. But I'll say this: that um, 31 years this year. That's all I can say.
Yes,
And I'm so glad to be
absolutely.
honored and also be part of Writer's Block. And I'm still waiting for the summer to go to Boogie Down and to read and share. So I just wanted to say that it's pure love. That's all I have to say. This is a beat.
Thanks, Carlos, and we can't wait to see you at the Boogie Down.
Count on us. We'll make our way down there. No, or we're up there, I should say. We'll make our way up there.
We'll be there.
Okay.
I know that's right.
So, Angel, before you do another poem, I have another question for you
Okay.
in my Topra vibes.
Topra.
So, Angel, if you could have dinner with any poetic figure, past or present, who would it be?
Oh, that's a fantastic question. If I were to have to do with any big bowl past or present, what could it be? Holy moly! I mean, holy moly! If I gotta say something, I'll tell you one poet I would like to honor specifically. And I probably would have dinner out in the park because he hung out in Tompkins Square Park. I want to mention the Jorge Brandon, who would always appear in Tompkins Square Park reciting poetry to everyone's around. And we don't have a lot of written material by him, but that's why I would want to be with him just to hear his words. And I'm gonna tell you, for among us poets that are familiar with that scene over the Lower East Side of Manhattan, um, and even though I never met him personally, I know quite a few poets who did, and they have nothing but love and respect for him. The wonderful Jorge Brandon passed away in the mid '90s, and was a wonderful soul. And if I ever had a chance with dinner with him, I'd say I would definitely relish that very much. Once again, con respeto, Jorge Brandon.
Okay, I'm going to go to the comments real quick. Uh, no worries has entered the building and said hello, everyone.
All right.
Teresa Hazel Eyes said drum roll. Donna Banks said nice, North Philly. No worries said sweet. And Teresa Hazel Eyes said, wow, that's awesome. I can't see the rest of her comment. North Philly, can you read the rest of her comment?
Let me say. Let me go to the comments. It says, "Wow, that's awesome. Keeping poetry alive. Love it.
Okay.
Beautiful, beautiful."
Yes. All right, guys, out there in Facebook land and YouTube land, show your love again for the Bread is Rising Poetry Collective. Finger snaps
Yes.
in the comments.
Show your love, Facebook. Show your love.
So, North Philly, do you have another question for Angel before he does his next poem?
I most certainly do. So, keeping along with the theme, with the question of the social conscious, how do you feel, in your opinion? How do you feel how poetry, especially your poetry, makes an impact in your community?
How does poetry make an impact in our community?
Yes.
That's a great question. I mean, you guys have great questions tonight. I think one thing. I mean, I've taught for a living, and one time a student remarked to me that one thing he liked about my class that I ask questions that make people think, and I think that's just a great compliment to get. The idea that you can just say things and make people think, and that's a little bit to be able to analyze, because to analyze is it's a tough skill to master, but guess what? We need to analyze. So if poetry helps people get to that state, then I did what I had to do.
That's real great. That's real great. So when you reach that crowd, right? I mean, when you reach the crowd, how does that make you feel, knowing that somebody or somebody's was so influenced by what you said that they themselves become the change, whichever the change may be.
I feel like saying to myself, I did what I was meant to do.
Right.
I did what I was meant to do, and I'll do it again if that's what it takes.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful, man. You know what I'm saying? I love your poetry. Your poetry is just prolific, poignant. You and Carlos together, man. Phew, I don't want no trouble. I don't want no
That's
trouble.
Fred is
For the both
rising.
of us, thank you. Yeah, thank
Yeah, I
you.
mean, y'all got fire over there, man.
Indeed. Yeah, Carlos and Angel and I, we go back to like 2004,
Oh man, that's
maybe
impressive.
2003, actually.
Three, three,
Yeah,
three.
Yeah, 2003. So we go way back.
22 years. 22 years.
That's what's up. That is
good
beautiful. That's a
enough for
beautiful
me.
thing.
Good enough for us.
22 years.
Whew. Yeah. That's a good piece. That is a dang good piece.
Absolutely is. And on that note, Angel, can you do another poem for us?
Sure, absolutely, absolutely. Let's see. I guess I'll read this because so it's good choice. No, it's just something just coming out to me and say, okay, then I should read this. As long as our fire is lit, we will see the light. Unite in a world of poetry and a struggle against censorship and fear. Wow, I wrote that. Toward a world with neither. Unite in words of poetry, verses at the center of our gathering call us together. When poetry means fire, words of illumination waiting to be spoken, poetry spoken in unity is destiny. A truth that unites is to be heard echoing past our roars. Even in struggle, we can smile while singing the blues. Where friends are far, that is far ahead, not far away, but in geography. A future in unity is here, no longer a mystery. As long as our fire is lit, we will see the light.
That was great.
That was powerful.
Out there, folks, again for the bread is rising. Angel
Show
Martinez.
your love, Facebook.
Clap it up, snap it up in them comments, folks.
Snap it up. Snap it up.
Okay.
That was powerful.
Carlos is getting one more poem, and we'll follow with that. And I gotta say, this is a wonderful presentation.
Man, y'all are just bringing it, man, and we loving it. I mean, I'm eating it up. Like yeah, I can't get enough
Thank
of
you,
it.
thank you.
Yeah,
Oh, I think Carlos is finding one right now, so just hold on, everybody. And hey to everybody watching this in YouTube land, Facebook land, or whatever land, because it's going to take posts from all lands to really help bring us
Yes,
together.
yes,
I mean, like we talked about healing before, even the healing through the arts is really amazing.
yes.
One time I was doing some research for a course, and my professor, Choctaw indigenous woman, a powerful woman, uh, knows while I was doing some research, and she was a music therapist. She passed on, and she
Mm.
said you have to put in more poetry in your research. So people ask me, do you have to do poetry in your research? Did they let you do poetry research? I said they're not going to let me say I passed without it. Dr.
They ain't
Carolyn
gonna let you
Kenny.
slide that easy. No, it's not gonna happen.
Dr. Carolyn Kenny, her name was. Hold
Mm.
Yes, we got final poem. Final.
on. Okay, we got to be off screen for a second. I got to help him find a poem, and just keep on going. We just got to take care of this real fast.
No problem. No problem. Mz.KIR? Mz.KIR. Uh-uh. Oh man.
Okay.
There you go.
All right. So, while we wait for the Bread is Rising to come back, North Philly, I need you to dig in.
Oh wait a minute, they're back.
They're back. We might be off screen, but don't worry. You'll hear Carl's voice, all right?
Okay, cool.
Hold
Okay.
on a
Cool.
second.
Drum roll in the comments for Carlos and Flora,
Here I
guys.
am. Here I am.
Show your love.
This is
Show
a
love.
poem that I wrote so many years ago, um, 5 years ago, but it was something that I used to hang out in this club called Slugs. Imagine a mode of a poet, a musician, and an artist will drop by Slugs and sit and relax and listen to the sun and listen to the sunrise orchestra, bearing a point of a bebop strange strings flowing that shapes your very verse, giving you a place beyond your dreams. The sun casts the light into your soul. Remember the old deep poet of sunrise, Mary Baraka, Jane Cortez, Pedro Petri, Carlos Torches, Sinem, Pedro Santaria, and Richard Davidson, Diana De Prima, and Hattie Jones, and Bimbo River, and David Henderson, I forgot to mention. The countless names of unknown names. The funky rhythms of the beat poetry, reciting a golden age, a voice that reaches heights yesterday and today. And in every corner of space, sitting beside Compton Square Park, drinking a coffee A-cream at Ray's Candy Store, rejoicing a moment of remembering the upright, the fearless, the frank, sunrod, opening your mind that space is a place. The universe is larger than the narrow mindedness of people on earth. Let us rejoice and dance and honor Mother Earth so that the children will inherit the sunshine. Thank you very much.
Powerful.
Yeah.
Powerful.
Show your
Powerful.
clap it up in those comments. Clap it up in those comments. Yes. Okay. North Philly, do you have another question for our guest? The Bread is Rising.
Yes, yes, I do. That was about man. That y'all just bringing more fire and more fire to this fireside chat of all sorts. Um, seriously, man, I'm loving it. I'm loving every minute of it. Um,
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
and this is a question for both of you. So, as far as going beyond the point of making an impact, how do you feel that both of your poetry, combined, or separate, whichever way you want to put it, how do you feel that is changes the narrative of what other poets put out there? And I'm not trying to downgrade any other poet, but some poets just, they don't. I guess
you.
some of them don't
I
go
was
far.
performing. I'm sorry. I was performing in this festival. Angel was there too. We were there,
Hmm.
and I was performing. And this person that came in and read, and he said, "Wow," he said to me, "Wow, you write with a heavy rhythm. You write with a thing." And I said, "Well, poetry is life. Poetry is not something that we live in a bubble."
Hmm.
And he said, "Thank you." He said, "Thank you." Uh, and this was I mean, he was older than me. I'll just say this: I'm in the '70s and he was in his '80s.
Hmm.
But he realized that what he was writing was not, was different levels. I think that we learn from each other. We learn all the time
Hmm.
when we write. When you write verses Well, as a poet, I'm an absorber of life. I study people. I study. I go around, I go to clubs and different places. We went to dance, and people would dance, And I'm just saying, we just came back from a poetry reading on Tuesday. And I can say that you get to observe, you get to share with other people. And some people are open, they're open to learn because poetry is a learning experience. It's a university of learning about words because words do mean something.
Yeah.
You know, uh, some people will get scared of you. If you're a good poet or if you're a poet that's writing something, they'll get scared of you. I've been in places where people got, huh, I mean, but then I realized that you were, then they admit, but I realized that you were talking about love. I said, because I'm not negative. That's the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that one of the keys to it is that words are a powerful vehicle, very powerful. That even the kings in other places in the world had the poet always to say something because they used to say that he was like prophesizing words that were going to come.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that we have to see that. We have to see that more than ever because poetry is a powerful word
Yes, it
that makes
is.
some people tremble if they're not right. So that's what I wanted to share with you. Thank you.
That's powerful. Thank you. That's you said it. You said you hit the nail on the head right there. Like I think that in accordance with what Carlos was saying, that poetry hits the heart of people, and sometimes it hits the heart so profoundly that some people get nervous because they don't know they can't relate to what they're feeling inside of them. So to expound on that with you, Angel, that how do you how do you relate to your audience? How you said earlier that you read your audience. So where do you meet your audience at in that relation?
I was going to say in the battlefield, but no, no. I mean, we're
That's
all just
about
thrown
right.
together. I guess I think it's really it's like teaching, or I should say, not so much teaching, just the process of learning, helping people learn more
Right.
about themselves and who they are. So to do that, you got to meet people where they are, and that's more than just metaphor. Sometimes that's physically, that might be a certain place. You might see them at a place where they might not normally be at, and that might feel a little out of place for them. You might see them in a neighborhood that maybe doesn't get a lot of people coming in from the outside being able to share as well. And of course, they got a lot of great people. The point is just to connect, to say, hey, there's other people that really care about your words too. So really, you the way I see it, where do I meet people? Again, I want to meet them in a place where they feel comfortable, where they feel safe, and they feel affirmed. I mean,
Okay.
we can't get enough affirmation.
Right.
So if I can offer some of that, then that's a positive thing. So that's where I could meet people because
Excellent.
that could be somebody like me.
That's right. Okay. That's what's up. Thank
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
We're gonna go back to the comments real quick.
you. Yeah.
Worries said snaps. Teresa Hazel Eyes did two drums and three finger snaps. Donna Banks said awesomeness with one, two, three, four finger snaps. And uh, my mom, Barbara Marie, said Angel and Carlos. I can't see the rest of this comment because there is something blocking it.
She
North,
said.
read that.
She said. Oh yeah. She said. Angel and Carlos shining their light tonight. Yes. Y'all
And
definitely are
yes. One time again for the Predators Rising Poetry Collective, folks. They're in the building tonight
in
on
the
Live
house.
Here.
In the house.
Yes.
Thank you. What a wonderful evening it's been. Really appreciate this.
This is, yeah. Man, no, we appreciate you, man. Man, y'all bringing it, man. Y'all bringing that fire. I mean,
Power to the poets.
I'm trying to tell
Power
you,
to the poets.
poetry is life.
Yes, it is.
Poetry is life, yes.
Hashtag poetry is life. That's gonna be my slogan for this weekend. Poetry is life.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna put that on my post. Hashtag poetry is life. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Trademark. Trademark.
Okay. Poetry is life. Yes. Folks, put that in the comments. Hashtag poetry is life. Put that in the comment and
That's right.
that in the comments, folks. Hashtag poetry is life. Hashtag power to the poets.
That's
Yes.
right. That's right.
Okay, so Angel, I've got another question for you. Uh
Is he still there?
yeah. Uh-oh.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
I'm here.
Okay. Okay.
All right, Angel. What is a fun fact about you, Angel?
What's a fun fact about me?
Yes.
Oh, fun fact about me. Oh, let's see. Let's see. Let me simmer on that one for a second. Oh boy, this is fun. This is fun fact about me. I'll tell you one thing. I'll never forget. I was 18 years old. I was canoeing for the first time. I was in a canoe for the first time over in Wisconsin. And the most beautiful thing about that trip, well, first of all, I had no idea what the hell was going on, but going to this lake, actually this opening in a river, and I'll never forget that was the very first time I ever saw a bald eagle
Hmm.
and the whole family nest. And just seeing that, I mean, it's one thing just to experience it, in photographs or in film, but to actually see it, to hear the sound of a bald eagle, that was just intense. That was immense. I was just,
Wow.
at my age, to witness that was just really unforgettable. This symbol of so much sacredness among indigenous peoples.
Hmm.
Um, I think that was something I could never ever forget. So that's a fun fact about me.
Wow. That's amazing.
Cool.
Amazing story. It's an amazing story.
Absolutely, indeed. Back to the comments. We got Teresa Hazel said, hashtag poetry is life. Uh,
Okay.
my mom said poetry is life should be the name of a poet. It should.
Yeah. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. Teresa Hazel said, hashtag power to the poet and hashtag poetry forever. Yes, poetry
Yes.
forever. Wu Tang. Wu Tang forever. Ooh, poetry ever, okay? Power to the poets, power to the poets.
Yes.
A National Poetry Month may be gone, but it's poetry every day for me, 365 days.
It
Yes.
sure is.
It
It
is.
sure is.
Yes.
We agree.
We agree
Poet.
Poetry three
100%.
Poetry 365.
That's right. Okay.
That's a word for you. Poetry 365. I love that.
I had that. There you go.
Yes.
There you go. I mean,
Yes. Hashtag poetry 365. A lot
that's
of
gonna
hashtags.
be that's gonna be the next hot thing.
Okay. Um, North Philly, do you have another question for our guests?
Okay, so y'all was throwing out some major names like June Jordan, God rest her soul, Nikki Giovanni, Mary Baraka, especially Mary Baraka. I love his works, and Richard Wright. So, who would you out of out of all the poets that you know, past or present, who are your top five poets, past or present?
My top poets were my great grandmother,
Okay,
that to translate her name was she was the judge of the lions. That's how you translate it. It's like an
bless King.
Arabic word that was translated to Spanish and Latin, but it means a judge of the lions.
Hmm,
My other poets during
bless.
the '60s and all that was our Mary,
Yeah.
was June Jordan, uh, was Jane Cortez,
Mm.
Nikki Giovanni, uh, Pedro Petri, uh, Felipe Luciano. From he used to have a group that he was part of the Last Poets. He was part of the Last Poets.
Yeah, man.
The
Oh my
Last Poets.
God. Yeah, the last
Somebody that I
poets.
knew. I forgot his name, but he passed away a long time ago. He was part of the Last Poets. Um, and I could say a bunch of poetry that I learned from many people. And I also got to meet a lot of the big poets of the '60s: Richard Davidson,
Hmm.
Allen Ginsberg, Mary, Diana de Prima.
Mm.
Uh, and I read with Mary, with Mary Baraka's ex-wife, Hattie Jones. And we read together. She told me, you sound almost like him. I said, well, no, I'm myself.
That's
So
right.
I'm just saying that, yeah, we were featured together at Doris's parlor. May the blessing of the Creator be with her because she was a hell of a sister.
Hmm.
That she used to use her apartment and she used to call it Doris's living parlor, right? Doris's salon. I'm sorry. Salon.
Hmm. Hmm.
And we had poets, we had music, we had jazz and everything. And also, I want to say this of a poet friend that passed away last year by the name of Ted Wilson.
Mm.
And in a lot of ways, we had a lot of similarities. We came from the same kind of school of thought. We went actually to almost similar schools. So I could say that Ted Wilson was a good friend of mine. And when he passed away, it blew my mind, because I thought
Mm.
that he was going to live, But
Right.
he made it to 82.
That's a
That's the
blessing in
heavy thing.
itself.
He made it to 82. So I'm thankful for that.
Yeah.
I'm thankful for that. There's so many poets that I've known that are now ancestors.
Mm.
And in a lot of ways, I remember them. They keep me going to keep on writing. Like they say, keep on pushing. That's what I use the term. So
That's
I
right.
could say that those are the poets that I honor, like he said, the honor of the ancestors. Most of the poets that I know are ancestors, and they're the ones that keep me in some ways or another alive.
Yeah.
Keep on writing, sitting down and meditating and observing and learning. And I think when we talk about Amir, we talk about the last poets. Oh, his name was Suleiman Hadi,
Okay. Okay.
from the last poets. So I'm saying that when we talk about that, the poets that influenced, a lot of them were heavy.
Yeah.
A
Yeah, they
lot of
were.
them were heavy, and they still with us. They still with me because I tell you the truth, that's what keeps me going. So I wanted to share that with you, and I want to thank you for this homecoming. I love this,
Yeah. Beautiful.
being
No, we thank you.
sharing it from Philly, from Highland Park, whatever. And we in Brooklyn now, and I could say that it's really beautiful that we're sharing it. I
That's
didn't
what's
really
up.
expect it, but it was beautiful, because you go to some poetry readings that you share to the people, and they dig where you're coming from. But when you have something that's like homey, you could dig it all the way. Thank you.
That's what's up.
Oh,
That's what's up.
Carla.
All right. All right, Carlos. I hear you, brother.
One time again, folks, for Carlos to Florida Top Dog, the bread is rising. Look it up.
Yes. Snap it up. Snap it up, Facebook.
Let's see those snaps and claps and comments for Carlos to Florida. All
All right.
right, bread is rising.
It
What
is
you
rising. It rises every minute. It rises right now. As far as what they call the Pontanoke River, which is called AK the East River. So I could say that when you share your heart and soul, that's the beauty of life. This is poetry. And I'll say this, that I was in a place where they were mostly, European people. And he said, wow, your poetry is, uh, your poetry is together because you're sharing your love. And I said, well, poetry is love. It's not something that you're talking about in space now. So I just wanted to say that.
That's man, yo, you're so poignant, brother. You are just beyond beautiful. Just beyond beautiful.
Yes, absolutely. So, North Philly, mhm, we have another question for our guest. The bird is rising.
Yes, I would love to hear another poem from the brothers. Either one of y'all.
Uh, you want to hear another poem?
Oh,
Yes.
man.
Uh, I, I,
Who's it?
uh, I might have to do this one. I mean, I guess because the time is like but we really enjoyed this conversation. We're doing all right. It's that poets get a little worn out doing poetry, but I can and Tanisha, you're recording this, of course, for posterity, is there? Okay, you are. Okay, that's good. That's all I need to know. And I just really
That's something.
want to, and I just really want to give a toast to powerful people everywhere. These powerful poets who we must hear again, and if we heard them once, we will always hear their echoes. And may those echoes reverberate to the end of time, because now is the time we must start the running and reach that star where we can bring light and truth to all that seek it.
Right on, Angel. Right on.
I just made that one up. That's why I asked you.
Well, Dynamite, Angel. Okay. So, Angel and Carlos, how can people reach out to you guys?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't catch that. Sorry.
I said, Angel and Carlos, how can people, if they want to get in touch with you, how could they reach out to you guys?
Let's see. I'll put. Can they read my email in the chat if I type it? Okay. I'll type my email in the chat, and definitely get in touch anytime. And I'll put the website. The Bird is Rising too. So I'll do that for you. And this is perfect time. We're gonna have to get going soon. So I'm off screen because I'm typing my email, and then I'll put the birdsrising.org.
Want to give any quick shout out?
Yeah, and let's see. Oops, sorry, I made a mistake there. Scratch that. The bread is rising. Dot. Whoops. Dot org. And okay, yep, the bird is rising.org. And for anybody who's trying to reach me on Facebook, it's best to reach me through Tanisha because there's a million people my name, so that's the best way to do it. And if I see that you're a friend of Tanisha, I'll know it's the real deal. So
Yeah, Topra. You got to say Topra. There's got to be Topra in there.
so now you got a couple ways to get in touch with us. There's also the Birds Rising Instagram too, so you can check that out too. And and I'd be glad to share more resources with people, get in touch with them.
Carlos, do you have any quick shout outs you would like to give?
Tanisha,
Yeah.
I want to invite you to our Greek Poet Laureate Gathering in August if you like to come. It's always at the end of the month, the 29th, the 30th, and the 31st of August, that there's a 3-day festival And they also got open mic, and they could, you could tear it up. You could tear that up because there's some poets that come from another world. They're not even. I could say that. So I think that you should think about it. Also, the brother, what's his name? I forgot his name.
Me,
From North Philly.
brother from North Philly's finest.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
North Philly's finest. I could take the word. So listen, if you want to come, because I could, I just have to say, if you want to come, I just tell the person that I know because we know the director,
Oh man,
one of the
definitely,
founders
man.
that saw us read and invited us, and this is 6 years ago that they invited us, and that's how we got involved with them. So I just wanted to tell you that
Yeah, man, I
they
definitely listen,
need
man.
young people. Listen,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
need
I gotta
young
come.
people. They need real people. That's what I have to say. That's the end of the word. They need real people.
I can
So
dig
head
that.
it on.
Okay.
All right, man. All right. I gotta get out anyway. I gotta go to Miss.KIR's joint, and I gotta get out. I gotta get out more. Everybody saying North Philly, get out, get out. All right. I got you. All right.
And by and by the way, the National Beat Poetry Foundation is on Facebook too, under the National and International Beat Poetry Festival. That's the name. I don't have the website handy, but if you look it up, you'll find us.
Okay. Okay.
Uh, well, Angel and Carlos, thank you so much for coming
Thank
on.
you.
Yeah.
No, not
Really-
here. No.
What's that? You
I
want
said thank
to?
you for coming on. We really appreciated you gracing us with your poems and your words of wisdom.
Real powerful. Powerful.
Indeed. Indeed. So, for those who are on, if you enjoyed The Bread is Rising, Poetry
Yes.
Collective, Carlos Duflor and Angel Martinez, put some more finger snaps and claps in the comments.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. It was an honor. It was an honor for both of y'all, man. It was an honor to have both of y'all, man.
We were magnificently pleased to be here. Thank you. Thank you both.
Thank you for coming.
Peace
Always
and
Poetry
love,
is
because
life.
that's the most powerful word. Peace and love. And
Yes.
we need that more than anything. And the young people, you're the future. And you got to be powerful, just like all the elders that became powerful.
Yes.
yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you
Yeah.
guys for coming
Thank you.
on so much. Really appreciate it.
Yes.
Yeah. Have a great night. Buenas noches.
Buenas noches.
Okay. Much love.
Yeah, much love, bro.
Take
Much
Bye.
love.
Guys. So, North Philly, as we
Yeah.
come to close, uh, do you have any? Oh, Kanisha Accra is in the building. Hey, Kanisha.
Okay.
One girl, Kanisha was a guest back in September of 2024, along with my awesome sauce friend Antoinette Gross, who, by the way, did the artwork for my book, which is entitled A Public Service Announcement, which will be coming out soon.
Okay, Miss Kia.
Gross is a phenomenal artist. Shout outs to her. And she was also a co-host back in January when Levine Hamilton was on. Shout out to Nick Gross and shout out to Kanisha Accra. Kanisha, you gotta come back on live with Miss Kier, and I'm gonna need you to also co-host at some point too, Kanisha.
Yes. Yeah.
So Billy, you want to give the shout outs now that you have?
Yeah, shout outs once again to Topra for having me as a guest guest host on Live with Miss Kier. Shout outs to James Ellerby. Shout outs to Black Ice. I'm gonna get with you, bro. Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to clear my schedule. Shout outs to everybody in Philly, North, West, South, wherever. Yeah, I mean, we just gotta stop this violence, y'all. We gotta come together. We gotta get better with this. Shout out to my grandchildren who might be asleep right now. Shout out to my daughter. Shout out to Cheryl Brandon, my partner. Yeah, I mean, Cheryl, where you at? I know you busy, but yo, peace and love to you. Shouts out to everybody who has been on the show. Shout out to Angel and Carlos for their most prolific, most profound, most fire. Fire. Shout out to William Washington, Jimmy Crack Corn, and I Don't Care. Peace, love, and hair grease, and I'm out. You know what I mean, Will. You know what I mean, Mr. Washington.
Um,
You know
um,
what I mean.
um,
Excuse me.
mm, okay.
Inside joke. Inside joke. Mz.KIR know what I'm talking about too.
Yeah. Um,
Oh, I ain't gonna say no more. I'm sorry.
um, shout outs to you, the viewers out there, Kanisha Akra and Teresa Hazel Eyes, No Worries, Barbara Marie, Donna Banks, Author Debbie D. She didn't come through tonight. Well, shout outs to her.
Okay.
Author Debbie D usually comes rolling through.
Mhm.
Also want to give a shout out to Rosalia and Haru and Jay Silent Night, because that's my dog.
Rice Aroni, the
You have
San Francisco treat.
Rice. It's out, folks. His album's coming out, so check out the album. Shout outs to Poe Essence Spoken Word. Poe Essence, girl, where you at? But she'll be co-hosting very soon. I think next week, if I'm not mistaken. A shout out to
Obey your thirst. Obey your thirst for Wessence.
Obey Your Thirst, and she has a book out, so go and get her book. Shout outs again to my mom, and go get her book.
All right.
Um, Pretty Ugly, How Low Self-Esteem Almost Ruined My Life by Barbara M. Barnes. It's on Amazon, so check it out. It's a good
Check
book.
it
It's
out, y'all.
very inspirational, very touching, very, very touching. And I'm not just saying that because that's my mom, but it's a really good, touching book. So shout outs to my mom, Barbara Marie. Uh, let's see. Did I say Genevieve? Genevieve
Genevieve.
Powell. She's got her
Okay.
next book coming out.
Phew.
Out to her. Genevieve, girl.
She is on a roll. She is
Yeah.
definitely on a roll.
Let's see. Delicia Roberts, girl. Okay, I'm trying to get you on here so you can share your poems. Okay, Delicia Roberts.
Money in the middle. Where's she at? In the middle. Money in the middle.
Also, I want to give a shout out to Wakiba Julian. Wakiba, he is a musician and he's going to be on live with Mz.KIR sometime. I don't know when, but shout out Wakiba. Shout out to Ross Ujima, Carlisle Paris, and let's see who else. Drew Head, Honey Original, shout out to her. Shout out to Shy Moonlight and Maya DeB will be co-hosting, I think next week or the week after.
Okay,
Um,
Maya.
yes. Shout out to Carla Cherry and
Mm-hmm.
Townsend, and shout out to Geronimo Speaks. Yes,
Geronimo.
he's that guy. Okay, folks.
Yes. Yes.
Geronimo Speaks. He's that guy. Shout out to Geronimo Speaks. And of course, shout out to Black Ice because
Of course. We're not worthy. We're not worthy.
can't wait to have you back on the show, Black Ice. Can't wait to have you on the show.
Oh man.
Was awesome sauce. Shout out
Yes.
to James Ellerby and Orlando Chandler. Shout out to my cousins, Scott Jacob, Isha Yakov, CJ Wright. Shout outs to them. Let's see who else. Shout out to Jessica Regal. Shout out to another Writer's Block member, Jacquees Armstrong.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Henry and Taria Busby. Shout out to Karaja Yashar. Got to have you back on the show too.
All
Shout
right.
to Joshua Robinson. Shout out to Camille Thomas Alexander from Game Changers Productions. Shout outs to her.
Okay.
Let's see. Shout out to Yamaskai. How could I forget about Yamaskai? If you need some CMOS, see Yamaskai. Shout out to Yamaskai.
Okay.
Shout out also to my homie James Parrish. Jimbo, where you at? Third Eye Custom T-shirts. You need a T-shirt? Go see Jimbo. James
Okay.
Parrish. Okay, me and James Parrish. That's my homie. We go back, way back.
That's right.
We way back too. Way
We
back.
gonna go whack, back, way back.
Field, P Field. Shout out to Maurice Huff. Okay, while I'm shouting out P Field, Maurice Huff. Okay, and let's see who else. Oh, Dami Afuye. Shout
Dami
outs,
Afume.
yes. Shout outs to Latasha Jimerson because she is awesome sauce.
That's right.
Um, Shout out to Jonathan Ware and Paul Dawn. And let me think. Cynthia Blue. And who else was a guest on Live with Miss Kier? Hamilton.
Okay.
Uh,
James
ah,
Ellerby.
yes, James Ellerby. I said him. Shout out to Sadette Knox, affectionately known as Bodette. No, that's my peeps. Shout out to her sister Asada Knox as well, and my homie Doreen Ito. Shout out to Doreen and my homie Tina Longford, and shout out to Carmen Alderando, aka Melinsindre Morningstar. I probably butchered that. Sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
Shout out to Mark Turpin. He will be on soon. He's a spoken word artist, so he will be on Live with Miss Kier soon. Shout out to Mac, and somebody else. Oh, Lee Derek Horn. He will also be on next month. So shout out to Lee Derek Horn. And anybody else who's watching. And thank you for taking the time out to watch another episode of Live with Ms. Kier. It is greatly appreciated. And
Yes.
week, our guests will be Mac, and Levine Hamilton will be returning. So,
Oh,
yes. So, shout outs to them. So, this is Tanisha Jacob, aka Ms. Kier, also known as Topra.
Topa's in the house.
Okay. Craziness matters and edges. Okay. Edges, don't let nobody tell you at any point in time that edges don't matter. Edges matter. Hashtag edges matter. Okay.
Edges matter. And that says a lot because I have no edges at all. So you know that says a lot, y'all. Edges matter.
Power to the poet. Power. And I will see you folks next week. Don't forget to share this um podcast because the bread is rising. Poetry Collective. They represent
Yes.
tonight.
Yes, they
Okay.
did. Good
So
Lord, they did.
okay, like and heart and share because remember, caring is sharing and sharing is caring. So
It's
share this.
caring.
And I will see you next week. Peace. Be breezy.
Na, 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 na.